Okay. A broken view. Protected, undermined. Uh, and there's a few others, but that's one I can just mention. I've never really like told anybody. I'm following up on some things really quickly here. Uh, I was talking about a story where, and it's real. I mean, my real freaking life. And that's the point. It's like people might want to view it like it's just exciting all the time. I'm like, keep your excitement to yourselves. I don't need excitement. All right. I am definitely not in need of excitement. I just tell you that much. Yeah, I'll go through some things that'll they'll come back uh, in and out. Right. Here is something. Well, there. I'm gonna need the band you to recheck, please. There may be one of them that's marked. And while it's not my territory, it also means can't be protected under my collective. So that's why this happens. But I always make sure somebody else triple checks. There are certain variables that no one can control at this point in time, no matter who you are, how good you are, or how powerful or not, or smart or not, or you see what I'm saying? It's got nothing to do with where you're from, or what your skills are, or what your talents are, or whatever. Okay, but yeah, okay. I'm explaining the band garbage. Okay, I do. Yeah, I put it in the garbage. Yeah, all that were was stolen intellectual property that I caught on to, and I was making sure that people were checking it. Uh, right, go try and find all the band members, all of them, and show me them in person, all the band members of the band garbage. Go find them, all band members, and then show me those band members. Speaking of the band garbage, yeah, I'm just helping them a little bit because some of it's like, well, if you don't teach it to them and they don't get exposed to it, well, that's part of the problem. I'm nowhere near as judgy as some people. Yeah, I was the final judge for one thing, but I can also execute his command if he has. You understand? But right now, that's not what's happening. So, right, final judgments, my collective doesn't ever have to deal with it. Which is why I try to get some protected on mine to get a second chance, or in some cases, a first chance. So that's what some of you timeline jumpers do, and that's a no-no, man. Okay, so some get sanctioned for it. I don't know what's going to happen to some of you because those are all final decisions that, if I'm asked, I will. Okay. Uh, yeah. Um, you too, concert. Well, the band garbage was supposed to open for you too, but you know, otherwise engaged. But I'm like, local talent, get up there, go open for you too. Okay, so everybody's singing about brotherly love, and we're all like, "Yay, one," and we're not, and blah, blah, right? Well, yeah, I mean, I got called away. I try not to leave any concert early. I don't try not to leave anything early. I always right to the very end. I don't care. I'm still here. uh, but occasionally, I know my jeez, all right. I can't entirely finish out. So there were like two songs left or something. And yeah, I went to my car in the garage, which is like attached to the what's it called now? Rural Farms. I don't know. Whatever. It used to be the Baltimore Civic Center, then the Baltimore Arena. We have some traffic issues that could be handled better that way. But okay, that is one thing. At that time, there was no light rail running through that street. Okay, and so there were just cars, and so the traffic with pedestrians and cars, after an event gets guided. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't know. So there were maybe no more than two cars ahead of me, so I could see right in front of my face uh, all this human pedestrian traffic, which was being guided properly to clear out some people. Right? I know. I saw them drive out, and then just human traffic. They're holding us up. They're like, no, not yet, not yet. Okay, it's pretty obvious. Like, okay, well, even if I have to get there quickly, I can freaking wait for some freaking pedestrians. You know what I'm trying to say? All that brotherly love all happening. And it didn't even last fucking 10 minutes. Because I'm in that garage, just gently listening to music, patiently waiting. Yeah, gotta wait for them to get the majority of the people maneuvered to get that street open for car traffic. That's the way events used to be handled. That it's the right way. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay, but I mean, it didn't even take two songs before somebody in the upper honking. We can't get out. You gotta move your cars. Drive. What are you doing? Ah! Fuck you. Hey, fuck you. So at one point, I'm like, alrighty. I got out of my car. And, well, I've got, singers lungs. I can make really loud if I need to be heard. I conserve that for when it's just absolutely necessary. I got out of my car, I shut the door, and I just stood there in the garage and just yelled to everybody in the garage. Are any of you emergency vehicle? Are any of you emergency personnel? Is there an emergency? Appalling is what that is. Fake it every way you go, aren't you? No one answered me. There was apparently no emergency workers being called, no fire people, no doctors, nobody really needed to get out of there that fucking badly. Let's all learn how to have a much longer fucking fuse now. Yeah, I marked everybody in that goddamn garage. Paulie, all of you in that garage. Even if you have to go to the bathroom, it's not like you can't leave your car and go wandering and find one somewhere before you leave. I didn't get a single answer. No one apparently was an emergency services worker who just got called to some immediate emergency. So I stopped going to YouTube concerts. Yeah, Freddy Krueger, think about it, everybody. He had to get it all out of his system, right? But then, like, okay, no, okay, cool. Can I got to take care of something. Can I get that? Okay. Okay, thank you. Oh, yeah, I'll get him back. Say, happy retirement, Freddie. Thank you, Elm Street. Yes. That's right. I think the only Pepsi product I can even stomach is bubbly, bubbly, bubbly. No, bubbly. You can make bubbly at home. Because nobody has to like everything that everybody likes. That's just, I don't know, I get used for bait. Yeah, that's true. Well, I was prepared, but right. Like, whoa! Hey, I know how to run. like, get out of my way! Get out of the way! What the fuck? God. Woof. Ah, she's trapped in there. Well, yeah, because eventually she finally followed me in, thinking she won something. I don't know what. I'm gonna take it out, but I can walk through it. So I did. Right. Yeah, there's a lot of people think their children are prodigious. Well, you got to burst some bubbles sometimes for the good of the rest of the collective and the whole and whatever's going on there. Oh yeah, the dead South, protected under mine. All right, that's why I stopped going to YouTube concerts. That's right. Everybody who was in that garage at that point in time got marked for it. There does come a certain point in a person's life where they just say, you know what, I deserve to live in a better world. There are people out there that no one will ever know. People want to call them ordinary heroes. No, no, no. We're all just ordinary people. No matter what. And if one of us is a hero, then all of us are. And yes, Kitty Genovese is an example of abnormal psychology. Most human beings do not do that. Pavlov. That's only meant for animal behaviorists, ethologists, um, biological ecologists, stuff like that. B.F. Skinner, animal behavior. You understand? So yes, I'm an ephologist in that way, right? But I have to people watch everywhere I go to because you guys don't pay attention. Listen to that. Pay. You can pay someone with your attention. There's actually more love languages than that. Some were saying five, and some were saying seven. In some cases, there's a couple more than that, but that is situationally dependent. Stop arguing with God, male clergy in the United States of America. Is what I'm trying to tell you. Well, it's not Job. Well, sometimes they get it. When it comes to males, sometimes they just get so wrapped up from it because they're supposed to be tough and they're supposed to be able to handle anything and they're supposed to know all that. But I don't think that, dudes. Okay. Okay. But I'm not a psychic reader at all. That's not anything. And well, yes, every single person in the United States is perfectly capable of reading, as in reading, not that kind. You can actually, if you're been trying to hide it. I know some. It's like didn't bring my glasses, and I had to get it. You mind? I can't. The light's not good. Listen, instead of doing that, okay, there's books on tape, books on CD, books on cassettes. You can get this stuff from libraries. You can just look at the words and follow along, and it may not make sense. You understand? But at some point, you're going to pick up the, like, okay, the is right before. You understand? Okay, but there's also K through 12. It's a learning system. It's very useful for people who homeschool because it's approved uh, for younger learning. It's all approved curriculum, you understand, right? But yes, if scientists, a lot of scientists and mathematicians, people who understand how to communicate into certain kind and understand, right? All those people got music educations when they were younger. Every fucking last one. Right? The physics of sound. That in itself is right, very interesting. And it's how all this happens. So we can hear, feel, and understand we're at music, you know what I'm saying? Okay. All right. Plus Pythagoras. But yeah, when it comes to that, let me grab it real quick. You guys don't have to fake it if you don't want to. Well, I rarely do. No, because it's just waste time. And for me, I I I need to do that for you all. I need to be as fucking efficient as I can be because at the back end, it's helping pull some under my collective who would not have gotten a second chance or even first. So technically, they just sidecar here and there, but it is starting to make more sense to some of you. Okay, right? Don't worry about it. Some of it, even yes, you're like, what the hell is happening? Don't worry about it. As long as you heard it, as long as you took it in, you understand. At some point, the clarity it is there. It may take a year, it may take five, it could take a little longer. It's no time limit on that. See what I'm saying? Okay. So this, I just do this. No, I know. There's some, most guitarists, most people don't even realize how many chord options there are on just one basic instrument, six strings, guitar, electric, or acoustic, or both. Uh, okay, most people don't. Yeah, I know. And I don't. I mean, I don't have it memorized, right? But yeah, I'll just mess around. Sometimes it's one closed and all the rest open. Some, you know what I mean, closed and all that, right? People understand frets and all that. But basically, what I do is if I like pick up on something like like oh no okay, yeah, that's kind of a neat sound, and so I check my fingers like, okay, what was I doing? I love it because these are chords marked in the way your fingers would lay on the frets. Okay, so where there's a black dot, that's closed, 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 but there's open strings, and some you don't even use. Right, you skip in a way. Okay, I'm not trying to teach anybody guitar. I'm just saying that that's what I was doing. I just hear something, say, oh, it's neat. So my transitions sometimes seem a little more like jazz transitions than they do some other. But I like there's no formula. You understand? Some of you trying to teach some kind of music formula. It's just like get out of my way, man. But yeah, like I'm just using an example. I hit something. Sometimes I know, okay, well in the C range, just do that. I know, okay, well that's in the C range, and that's just a regular C. And then, but I want something that goes down, but only half step. Okay, sometimes I don't know, so I just try. I'm like, right, just try. And once I get it, I can look. So I know where I can show myself how to transition if I need it, right? So sometimes those transitions gets to a point where, okay, well, I got this and I got that, and that's an accompanying chord over here, but I only want that, like I want that in a faster time, 1, 2, 3, 4, even though it's 1, 2, 3, 4. You get what I'm saying? But as I, started learning how to do that, too, so quick, it's hard to pick up on, right? But just even having one of these that like cost uh I don't know, $10. I just glued it to it, you know. So I can take it off the wall easily, move it around if I'm right. And sometimes I just sit and stare at it because like it helps me understand. Like I pick up on certain transitions and don't realize it till later. But that's basically what I would do. Well, yeah, I mean, it wasn't officially diagnosed, but I mean, I have been, yeah, like it's like dyslexia. Okay, but listen to me. Yeah, that was one of the reasons why I started just. I'm like, it's not like I don't know what these notes mean. I know what that means. I know what that means. I know where it's supposed to play. I know it's a half step. I know, right? It's just that it was so much easier for me to learn by ear anyway. And that way, I couldn't confuse an A with a D. You get what I'm trying to say? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it is true. I mean, I'm gonna use the name Washington Capitals, but that's true. That's a true story. Yeah, I would just say Washington Capitals, and I never noticed that I was until someone said, Like they thought it was some kind of cute, fun name, but I'm like, I know I really was calling them the cannibals. No. But someone pointed it out to me. So there are some techniques used to help people in learning certain things at certain times and certain ways your brains are built. Some of it can be very, very helpful to some, but not very helpful to others. You understand? But that's okay because there are other ways and other things. But yeah, I started just doing the work there, and right every time somebody said something to me, I'm like, okay, it's capitals. So I would literally start training myself to slow down a little bit when I was getting to things like, yeah, I didn't know. Here's one. Take my uh, go to the bank and get my cash checked. Some of you probably didn't even notice. You might need to consider some things. Special learning. Ask around, see if you need special kind of learning because I didn't know. I said it for years. Going to the bank to get my cash check. I'll be back. You understand, right? And some of you probably didn't pick up on it. But what's supposed to be is I'm going to the bank to get my check cashed. You understand? So if you guys heard that and didn't see what was wrong with it, you guys might want to consider like seeing if there's other ways to learn things. But now that you do have to do the work on, but it does work. So once I realized someone made me aware, anytime I knew that there was one coming up that I had difficulty with, of course, ice hockey. I love ice hockey. Anytime I could, growing up, there weren't really a lot of ice hockey fans around me. So anytime I ran into anybody, I don't even care what kind of hockey. I'm like, hi, how you doing? My name's Via, right? Yeah, you're an instant friend. That is, I'm the only instant that's okay. I went through the heat process, okay? Yeah. So, visualization techniques. And sometimes you can like make a 3x5 card. If you have trouble kind of keeping a visualization, you can have some. And when you know it's coming, and so you slow down a little, you say, just give me a second. And it's a small amount, and you just flip through. Okay, you can even do that because it's going to start helping your brain like mold and shape in a certain different way, and it makes it less. I mean, it's a more comfortable way. And if you let people know, okay, I might have to slow down, they'll get used to it. You understand? So that's what I'm saying. So I realized, okay, well, those are times I need and Gorilla Snot, if anybody. I use Gorilla Snot. I mean, I'm not a drummer. I have done a little bit, but I use it for all kinds of stuff, even household use. It's tacky, but originally made for a percussionist, so the sticks don't get slippery because you sweat and all that helps. Right? But I've used it for guitar picks and other things. Sometimes just a little dab and stick a piece of paper temporarily on the wall with it. Yeah. Right. So, and I used to say granilla snot all the time. Granilla glue. I like the granillas. And some people it's just cute and right. But that's what I did. I did a visualization. So Washington, I know I got that right. I know it starts with a C, cat. Okay. But I would just visualize like a baseball cap in my head. And if you want to assign colors to it, some don't. But it was, I just picked red because they were, I don't know, I was thinking about a certain older jersey. Reminds me all the time of it, right? So, right. So when I would get there, I would just slow down and say Washington capitals, capitals, cap first. You understand? I know it starts with C, so that way I'm not saying catapults, I'm saying capitals. Okay, and so I like learn. Okay, I gotta slow down. I gotta go to the bank and get my check cash. So that one I would just think of a check mark. Okay, the check mark comes first. Check first. You understand? So then would slow down and say, I'm just going to the bank to get my check cashed. It's like you're cashing in your check mark, kind of. See what I'm saying? So you start to get to know how you're thinking in certain ways, and then you can just slowly just do it with one thing at a time. So for me, well, there were other things when I was younger, but yeah, right, it wasn't picked up on so much. It's some cute little thing that he does or something. But yeah, I just would do that. And so now I don't ever have to stop. I just say, well, I call them the trash heels now. It's a hockey love thing. Don't worry about it. I promise I wouldn't call them the crack heels if they did 35. Keeping my promise. And I just call them the trash heels. Yeah. So slowly but surely. But I also noticed when it came to certain numerical situations, like algebra, there's like I understood formula. What you do to one, you do the other. I understood all that. It's just that sometimes I was looking at like 2x as x2, you understand? And then you can't balance it from there, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, what the hell, man? Right. But it took longer for me to start doing that with certain things. You see what I'm saying? So the first thing is try to get to know yourself pretty well. Also, that way, if you understand kind of how your brain works, and you're like, I see. Okay, because you can actually start helping your own self and adjusting. And if people aren't patient with you, just say, well, if you're not going to be patient with me, I don't want to talk to you. Because I had to slow down and stop and think before I said capitals, and slow down and stop and think before I said take my check to the bank. Right? Take my go to the bank and get my check cash. So see what I'm saying? So there's little things, but like kind of just how you think and what you pick up on and things like that. And now I always say that correctly, and I understand now. Really, it's the easiest thing, and I don't make those mistakes anymore. So once, but that took a while. I was like in my 20s something, right before I'm like, ah, duh, okay. Then I blazed through all the algebras, A's, you know what I'm trying to, yeah, oh, yeah. And then, oh, I understand some calculus now. I get it, right? And trig. Well, this is the thing. I'm just naturally born gifted at understanding geometry. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's some geometric patterns some like to think represent certain things, but they limit you. Some people also sacred geometry. It sounded like I was calling it that when I was younger. Most people wouldn't even know what that was. There's no point, right, to say anything. No point to say anything. When you're walking around, you know nobody else knows. I just keep it to myself for a while. Not because I'm trying to keep information from you, but because even if I said something, I know some would be just, what? Because you didn't get the right education foundation. It's pretty much the same for every human. Right. It really is. Right. So, but that's what I'm trying to say. So now, yes, I did. I did. I was like, wow, there we go. Algebra done. There you go. Teach, have a nice day. I'm out. Okay, what's next? Yeah, okay, we do this. Okay, fine. But then some physics principles also just click there again. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, well, because you gotta have the no, because you can, you have to do this. See, but the remainder, you understand, holds off here, and then you gotta, you understand. So trust me, it took a while, everybody. Once it started happening, then I'm like rolling through those classes that seem really hard, and I cannot, you know what I'm saying? I had to take a couple of them more than once here and there, but I also took the time in between to review, redo like problems from like a workbook that I had still from somewhere, and make sure. I mean, I was still checking my own self. You understand that way, but like don't give up though, because it'll click at some point. It will. It will. You'll start to realize, ah, crap. That's why I wrote down X2, and you start to realize that in an algebraic equation, you wouldn't have that. It's always going to be 2x, 3x, right? You understand? Right. So then you start to realize, oh, that can help me too, because if I write it down that way, oops, you catch it right away. So don't give up. So it's not as hard as you think. It's a perception, it's not a reality. Okay. But learning music, it's just so much easier for me. I'm like, okay, well, I know I can do it this way. But by that time, I was already like learning my ear straight out. I can usually tell, well, it goes up, goes down, it goes this way, it goes that way. Those are all minor. So, right. So sometimes my transitions, some in sort of formula for some reason, do tend to skip using uh, major sevenths in transitions, because the music industry finds them awkward. Find that I'm awkward. Why picking on a disabled person? Okay, so even yes, most people don't even know that that is possible, and everything that fits in with it. It's a lot for even just one instrument. And the reason I like strings, I love all of it, but strings are highly versatile. Even Carolyners. Yeah, I know. I was watching. I was like, holy cow, James Bond. They got I know that guy like became one with it, but that's also a string instrument. The bells, like a piano, but they hit the right. I'm like watching this guy, like, wow, he's like one with that thing. I know, like, cool. Oh, yeah, I'm saying, oh, yeah, get in there, man, get in there. Yeah, that's right. Right. I mean, I've that's what I'm saying. But that's also a string instrument. Okay. But strings are easy to bend and shape and maneuver. And if you know about them, then understanding the brass, it's a little easier to understand. And understand. So it took time, don't worry. You understand? And I was not in an accelerated learning pace for a while. Don't have to worry about that. And I'm just saying, please don't give up. You understand? Sometimes it's like the teacher. They can't always spend, most can't spend like a bunch of it. It's not them so much as how everything's set up, right? But that's what I'm saying. In the US, K through 12, it's free. And you can go on there and start at first grade at home where nobody's looking, or at the library. If you're embarrassed by it, don't be. But you can actually teach your own self in those ways. Putting the words up, your closed captioning for the hearing impaired, if you haven't, watching shows. It does start to sink in. You start to pick up on, okay, well, the comes before these kind of words. And then, okay, well, I get it. And then, oh, this means like this. So I say it like, you understand? You, 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 you can learn something new the day you die. So adults don't buy into some stupid crap. Kids, if you find that there's like some stuff you're having difficulty sort of grappling with and learning, well, just remember sometimes the adults may not be aware yet. So take the time to get to know your own selves, because it's much easier to communicate to others that way. You understand? Because you can make some self adjustments and like, oh, you understand? But I don't care what kind of their quote learning disability you have. There are ways to do it. There are. But this is why I have one of these. Because I'm like, yeah, I know about where the range is and I want this. And sometimes I do want, people would consider it more like a jazz like music transition, right? Because it seems awkward to the ear right at first. But that's how you get there. You understand? Right? So yeah, well, I mean, it works for piano and other things too, but just one of these $10. Spend time with it, even if you don't understand it. You see what I'm trying to say? You start to pick up, even if you're not taught. Okay, yeah, I don't want to. Okay, that chord is right. I said, oh, I played the top string. I don't need the, or yeah, it's the bottom E, but it's on top. That's what I'm saying. So, right, you know what I'm saying? Mm. Me, I always have to change the action because it, no matter what my preference is, I don't have choice, is what I'm saying. Because a lot of players can wrap their thumb and I can't. It's right. And my pinky has to do like all kinds of extra work. So I got to build my pinky back up again. But my callus on my pinky goes all the way because I have to use that to roll where a lot of people can just depress and right. So I had to adjust. And I know I do have to chicken wing sometimes, okay? But if the sound is coming out right, then let me chicken. I don't have a choice. But I do know how to get sound out of it. And yeah, I always have to change the action no matter what. I have to have the frets as close to the fretboard as I can get them so that I can make those faster, easier transitions. Yeah, and capo, I don't have one right now. Like, well, then give me one for free. Because then there's some things I can, yeah. But I see guitar, and there's so many different ways to get sound out of that. Don't limit yourselves. It could be a drum. It could be, you see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I put a bag of cedar chips in the hole there. They smell good, right? But it also adds another way that I can make a noise with the guitar, like a shaking way. And I tried it with a bag of rice. Tried it with a bag of loose beans. Well, that is the one thing I do that. Yes, guitar picks end up in there all the time. Just a thing. Right? Anyway. So I have to work around some of these things. But it's possible. Okay. It is. Sometimes like if you're trying to learn something, especially when you're younger, starts if it starts getting frustrated and you start like feeling like googly eyed, it's okay. That's when you take a break. That's your cue. Don't keep pressing. Like go do something, take a shower, talk to friends, eat, whatever. You see what I'm trying to say? And then, if it's in the same day, get back to it an hour later or something, like, right? Yep. It because there's things that may be processing while you're doing other stuff. And when you sit back down, like, oh, I didn't see I did that one. Okay, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Reduce your own frustrations because it's possible. All right. Yeah, I do have two air quote unexplained events. One of them did actually get caught on the audio when I was dancing and having some fun. Um, there's that was an intentional situation done from far away. Uh, and I'm also reporting one more. The metal light cord, the toggle switch is cord great that you turn your lamp on and off with. It's metal. There's no wind in here. You understand? It couldn't have been a fan because I've had all these fans on high power in here and nothing ever moves that. You get what I'm trying to say? But I started swinging back and forth a little bit there. That's a confirmed. All right. So some of them I am actually catching on video and audio. So there is one, and that one I'm marking as uh, purposeful content from far away. Just purposeful acknowledgement from far away. Not in this environment. You understand? It sounded like something fell, but I can assure you nothing fell. And there's no way for anything in that closet. And it didn't even sound like it was coming from there. It was sounding like it might have been coming from that closet. But there's nothing in there that can fall. And nothing was out of place anywhere. Okay. So, yeah, and I'm been a music pusher since forever. Yeah, question is, what do you want to do with your life and all that, right? Yeah, well, make a lot of music and encourage others to do the same. But you could teach kids a lot of subjects just with some music. Ah, wow, John Acorn, nature. Like some people be like, why would you fangirl on that? Oh, yeah, I did. Exactly. Private dinner with some of us, and he played a song, and I didn't know he was going to be sitting at my table right next to me. I know, oh, he's, yeah, man, it was just ridiculous. I'm like, oh, what do I do? What do I say? Okay, just act natural. And I'm eating. It's just Johnny. It's just a dude. Don't worry about it. Don't say anything stupid. Don't say anything stupid. Musical types. Musical souls. Everybody lifeline for each other, and everybody leave light on for each other. Huh? Okay. So if you start feeling sink a little too much, fucking get some friends, jump in, help out quickly. You see what I'm saying? And yeah, by the way, any of you purposefully wearing fake tattoo sleeves, like if anybody temporary, just knock it off. For now, you're done. Get it out. Take them off. Whatever you need to do. Right, and just move on. Yeah, you need to drop a plane on that thing that's not a mannequin. I don't care how you do it. But sometimes engines fail and planes fall. Right? Pull a Donnie Darko. Like, yeah, one gigantic jet engine just however you want to do it. I'll get to DeGrasse Tyson when I feel like it. Oh, yeah, he's thieving. He's thieving. One of my stories, even. Like, none of that's not what happened to you, you hole. You don't do still! Ha ha! Yay! What? Yeah. I see what I'm saying. So I'm fully armed. Be careful. And now everybody start choosing caution. And just please start. No go juice. No gas pedal. No accelerator. Just gently. Everybody. Okay? It'll start working. Don't worry. Yeah, somebody hit me with a 9 millimeter. Well, I would like to know who that was. Yeah, not so many bullets getting through that. That is correct. Clancy and friends over there, 21 pilots. Yeah, because they're hitting me. Oh, angry is not even the proper word. Okay, right. But yeah, there's some getting protected that way on purpose. But I can't help most of them at this juncture. Like I said, when it comes to the Scientologists, try to help as many women as you can. Right? Right. Just blow, ladies. Just blow, blow, blow. Like, just yell, scream. Just do something. Stay huddled somewhere. Jump out from a bathroom and just let people know, like, can you call the police? But at this point, if they don't blow, let them go. I'm just telling them the truth. And no one can change that. Constantine, too. I am. I heard some a la Rossdale. I am. Okay, all right. Think about it. TV show Suits. Okay, that's a German word. Macht means make. Mike Ross. 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 Mike Ross.